I'm the creator and star of the hit series and franchise Basketball Wives. But most recently, you may know me as the wife of Keon Henderson.
Shaunie Henderson, formerly known as Shaunie O'Neal, is no stranger to drama. From her early days as the quietly influential spouse of basketball icon Shaquille O'Neal to her empire-building role in reality TV, Shaunie has always known how to hold an audience captive. But in recent months, rumors suggest her current marriage is hitting stormy waters, and it all allegedly goes back to her ex-husband, Shaq. Whispers claim Shaunie can't stop talking about her past life and NBA legend ex, leaving her new husband, Pastor Keon Henderson, caught between frustration and confusion. Let's break down what's really going on, why the drama is at a fever pitch, and how social media is eating this up.
Share my life, trust in me, babe. Oh, babe, that's so...
Before she rose to produce reality TV gold and dominate headlines, Shaunie was hustling paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure out her path. It was in Los Angeles in the late 1990s that she crossed paths with a towering 7-footer who was already a global superstar. At the time, Shaquille O'Neal was on the verge of NBA superstardom, having signed a massive deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Sparks flew quickly. By the early 2000s, they were an NBA power couple, building a family and living the high life. However, as the story goes in Hollywood, big money and big personalities don't always make for a stable marriage. By 2009, Shaunie had filed for divorce.
I'm the ex-wife of former NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal.
You dropping the O'Neal?
I'm dropping O'Neal.
No, I was hoping you didn't.
Many watchers assumed her next chapter would revolve around child support and spousal settlement deals. Indeed, there was chatter about 6-figure monthly support. Shaunie either let the rumors swirl or brushed them off, until recently. In an interview posted on social media, she clarified she didn't receive any massive monthly figure. Yes, she received child support, but not as extravagantly as blogs reported. She even said it was better than $50,000 a month, which only fueled curiosity about what better really meant. But it was never the $200 million spousal payday that gossip sites once touted.
I was young. Despite the rumors, I didn't save a little for the rainy day. I wish I had them.
In that same discussion, she also revealed the difficulties of moving on post-Shaq. With 5 kids in the mix, raising them and forging an identity outside the O'Neal shadow was a challenge. She transformed her hustle into a creative pipeline, producing and starring in reality TV that let viewers peek into her life. And for a while, she seemed unstoppable, until the rumors started swirling that her new husband was dealing with some major frustration over her continued fascination with Shaq.
I really had to start all over. I had to figure out how to manage my money, what to do with it.
As Shaunie advanced in her career, she also advanced in her personal life. Enter Pastor Keon Henderson, a charismatic leader at the Lighthouse Church in Houston. He's known for his powerful sermons, a fervent entrepreneurial spirit, and a stylish presence that matches Shaunie's own star factor. They began dating around 2020, and by 2022, they'd tied the knot in a lavish ceremony. Friends posted congratulatory Instagram stories, showing glimpses of their big day in Anguilla, a wedding that exuded class and exclusivity.
They have stayed together. They have stood together. And now they stand together by the powers.
Many believed Shaunie was finally stepping into a calmer, more spiritually anchored life. The two partnered up for faith-centered events, like their Cry Out conference. They also did interviews about forming a blended family and how God was at the center of their relationship. Social media, especially church-focused corners of Instagram, ate it up, hailing them as an example of finding love after heartbreak.
I didn't want child support to be my source of life. I was like, this ain't it.
But behind the scenes, some sources claimed not everything was so peaceful. Several articles started popping up online, describing tension, allegedly because Shaunie just couldn't stop referencing Shaq. Whether in interviews, casual conversations, or even at home, She'd mention "my ex" in ways that, reportedly, rubbed Pastor Kayon the wrong way. While Shaunie was rebuilding her life, Shaq was out there telling the world he was the one who messed up their marriage. Over the years, he has consistently repeated how the divorce was all his fault. He took accountability for infidelity and immaturity, even going so far as to call himself a serial cheater. During multiple podcast episodes and sports interviews, Shaq admitted he regretted losing Shaunie.
With a divorce, you controlled your life forever.
I never talked about this, and I'm glad you guys are asking because I don't mind talking about this, but I was bad.
Fans found Shaq's public regret heartbreakingly honest. Contrastingly, Shaunie's own confessions in her memoir painted a less romantic picture. She felt neglected, overshadowed, and unsupported in her entrepreneurial ideas. But what's key here is that Shaq's interviews always came across as him carrying guilt about how he'd wronged her, while Shaunie's remarks often centered around wanting him to do more or be more. So from an outside vantage, it seemed Shaq remained loaded with remorse, while Shaunie was the one who'd moved on. At least until fans and insiders noted she continued to speak about him in ways that made you think, is she really over it?
Do you think that shacking up has consequences?
I do think shacking up has consequences. You're talking about cohabitating, correct?
Wow.
Lately, critics label Shaunie's frequent mentions of Shaq as fixation. Whether that's fair or not depends on your perspective. Some fans argue that it's inevitable she'd bring him up. He's the father of her children, a global superstar, and an enormous chapter of her life. But others say, enough is enough. She's remarried, so why keep bringing up the ex? The chatter escalated when she and Pastor Kayon appeared on a well-known podcast, and she spent significant time dissecting her past with Shaq, overshadowing the segment about her new marriage.
And I do talk about my ex because that is a part of my journey, or my journey with my ex, let me say that. And the part even about Basketball Wives, I share.
Viewers took to Twitter and Facebook, pointing out how even after describing her love for Pastor Kayon, she'd pivot back to discussing how Shaq felt, or how Shaq's issues impacted her. One user tweeted, "She's been with Kayon for less than 3 years, but it feels like Shaq lives rent-free in her head." Another posted, "I'd be big mad if my wife talked about her ex this much. Someone check on Pastor K." That leads us to the center of this storm. Rumors that Pastor Kayon Henderson is livid about Shaunie's inability to bury the Shaq topic. Sources claiming to be close to the couple say the pastor's frustration has reached a boiling point. He's apparently told Shaunie that while he respects her past, he can't keep hearing about it in present tense. The same sources note that he's deeply concerned about how the constant references might overshadow the spiritual work they're trying to do together, like hosting church conferences and co-leading ministries.
Even when you were discussing your marriage to Shaq, as we know him as Shaq.
Yes. I loved love, right? And I still love love.
You won't find direct quotes from Kayon. He's too PR savvy to openly criticize his wife in the press. But quiet rumors swirl in Lighthouse church circles. Some congregation members have spilled on social media that the pastor has even included subtle references in his sermons about letting the past go. It's not confirmable that he's referencing his marriage, but the timing is suspicious.
Isaiah said that when the enemy comes in like a flood, then the Spirit of the Lord raises up a standard.
Some fans blame the spotlight that's always on Shaunie. She's used to the realm of reality TV, where old drama is a storyline you can monetize. But for a pastor, continuous public drama goes against his mission. He sees it as negative energy interfering with their devotion. When tabloids started running headlines like, "Shaunie's husband furious over Shaq obsession," the internet lit up. People either defended Shaunie for being real about her experiences or criticized her for failing to respect her new husband's boundaries. One Twitter user wrote, "If she can't let go, maybe she shouldn't have remarried." Another fired back, "Shaq was her life for 10 years. Stop policing her narrative."
My dad kind of instilled in me this safety, like the man in your life, your partner, is just supposed to make you feel safe. And I tell my husband all the time, like my dad always, He was my protector.
Instagram's comments were a battlefield. On a post from a gossip platform, a user joked, "Pastor is about to schedule marriage counseling for them and the entire reality TV show." Another user retorted, "He married a reality star. He knew what he was signing up for, so why is he mad?" The discourse was as messy as you'd imagine. A wave of Team Pastor K accounts popped up, championing him for wanting a drama-free ministry. Meanwhile, Team Shaunie fans called the pastor controlling. In typical social media fashion, every angle spawns its own tribe.
You lose the trust, you lose that pillow of comfort. And I think I just figured out that
even though she hasn't explicitly addressed whether Pastor Keon's upset, Shaunie did mention the swirl of rumors in a small YouTube interview. She said, "People keep saying I'm stuck in the past. That's not fair. I'm simply acknowledging my journey. Shaq was part of that, and so is Keon. They each matter." She also dropped a line about how she's tired of folks trying to pit them against each other. Interestingly, that might be a subtle way of denying that her new man is jealous or angry, but she never outright said he wasn't.
Everybody receives love in a different way.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn that from your partner, then you're kind of lost the entire time. You don't find that.
She's also repeated that she has great respect for Shaq and that they co-parent their children effectively. She wants the public to know she's not stuck. She's just open about the pivotal experiences that shaped her. In her eyes, talking about Shaq might be a form of therapy, a reflection of personal growth. But that doesn't always gel with how her new husband might feel. Shaq remains mostly cordial about his ex's new marriage, continuing to show a certain wistful acceptance. On a sports podcast, he once said he's happy she's found a partner, and he's got no ill feelings about it. He famously stated, "I had my chance. I messed up," basically letting the world know he's moved on. Yet, regrets remain.
She was awesome. She really was. It was all me. I was just, look, we don't need to talk about what I was doing, but I wasn't.
Could Shaq's stoic stance be fueling Shaunie's endless mention of him? She might sense he's moved forward while she's still sifting through old feelings, regrets, or even leftover frustrations. Some watchers suspect she never fully processed the breakup, focusing instead on forging a new identity in the reality TV arena. Only now, with a new spouse who might not appreciate hearing about her ex, is she forced to confront the baggage.
Power to inspire, to encourage the next person that, you can take the broken pieces of your life and put them back together again at any age.
Remember, Shaunie's and Shaq's kids stand in the middle of these dynamics. They live in a blended family scenario. Shaq as their father, Shaunie as their mother, and now a stepdad with strong convictions about religion and love. The children occasionally appear on social media or in short reality TV cameos, but they typically stay out of adult drama. The big question is how they handle hearing mom talk about dad so frequently, and how that resonates with Pastor Keon, who's trying to step into a paternal figure role.
I just encourage anybody who's in the Houston area to get there because it's filling up quickly and it's about to be insane.
It is. We have Tamika Mallory come in.
According to some social media posts from the older children, they love both parents and have a good rapport with their stepdad. That's no small feat, but rumors suggest the older ones might have privately told Shaunie to ease off discussing Shaq. Again, none of that is confirmed, but it's chatter swirling on Twitter. Regardless, balancing co-parenting while forging a new family path is tricky. If the kids sense tension, that's a big red flag.
My mom played me. She said I had to be here to sign for a furniture delivery, but I walk into this big party.
Don't you like surprises, Mom?
I love surprises.
Another dimension is how Pastor Keon's deeply religious background merges with Shaunie's reality TV roots. He's a well-known pastor with a large congregation. She's an executive producer known for turning personal drama into ratings gold. It's no secret that reality shows thrive on conflict, sensational details, and love triangles. Could this fundamental difference cause friction in how they handle personal issues?
Shacking is absolutely a old people word.
I know, but you knew what it was.
Because I'm old.
If Shaunie can't resist turning her Shaq stories into a new show storyline, or if she's trying to keep herself relevant, That could clash with how Pastor Kayon envisions running a household guided by faith and calm. Tension might brew from how they approach public life. She sees controversy as an asset. He sees it as a stumbling block to spiritual growth. Critics of Shaunie label her as stuck in the past or craving the spotlight. They argue she's intentionally poking at Shaq references to remain trending. They say it's hypocritical to mention her ex so often when her new husband presumably wants a fresh start. But her defenders say, hold up. She married Shaq young, had multiple kids, built an entire life with him. It's natural to bring him up, especially because they co-parent.
I have 3 daughters and I have 3 sons. 3 sons. I have my 6 children. I said, look, we don't need another basketball player. Your daddy's crazy.
The question is whether there's a healthy boundary. Does Shaunie cross a line by repeatedly mentioning him in interviews and possibly overshadowing her new marriage? Or is she simply living her truth, telling her story as it happened? The debate rages on. If the rumors are true that Pastor Kayon is furious, we might see some changes in how Shaunie addresses Shaq moving forward. Maybe she'll scale back or keep it on the hush-hush. Alternatively, she might double down, clarifying she won't be silenced about her own life journey. One thing's for sure, this might not be resolved quietly.
Most recently, you may know me as the wife of Keon Henderson.
My whole last name gonna change.
That's Mrs. Henderson to you.
Could her fixation harm the relationship enough that we see tension or even separation? Some tabloids push that angle, claiming a meltdown is imminent. Others say the couple is stronger than the rumor mill and that Keon's annoyance is overblown. Only time, and maybe a cryptic Instagram post, will tell. So that's the scoop. Shaunie Henderson can't seem to shake the ghost of Shaq, or so the rumors say. Her new husband, Pastor Kayon Henderson, allegedly can't deal with hearing about Shaq day in, day out. Is Shaunie just being honest about her past, or is she treading dangerously close to sabotaging her present? Who's in the right, and does anyone even owe the public an explanation? We want to hear from you.
Kids are older now, and they're kind of upset with me. Not really upset, but they don't understand. Because I tell them all the time.
Drop a comment with your take on Shaunie's repeated Shaq mentions. Is she oversharing, or is it simply part of her story? Could Pastor Kayon's rumored frustration be justified, or is it all hype? Let's get the conversation started. If you want to stay plugged into all the latest drama from the worlds of basketball, Hollywood, and hip-hop, be sure to subscribe to Celeb Titbits for more sizzling updates. Until next time, keep your eyes on the timeline, because it's always about to get even juicier.